There's an appalling decline in the health of the UK's children, and urgent action is needed to correct this. This is the conclusion of a report by the Academy of Medical Sciences. One of the co-chairs of the report summarises the conclusions in the simple statement that there's an appalling decline in the health of our children. Let's just stop and think about this. An appalling decline in the health of our children. Does that sound possible in a civilised country? And how can our politicians let this happen? It's not like this is an obscure report that's been swept under the carpet. The press has picked it up. I did a recent video on poverty, and this provided evidence that 4.2 million children are living in poverty in the UK, and more than 1 million children are experiencing destitution. What's going on here? I think most Tories are reasonable and would be horrified by the evidence provided in this report. There are probably a small group of right-wing Tories who would blame the parents, but I think that this would be a minority view. I think we live in a political system that's become so distorted that somehow our politicians can only carry on if they deny that the country's problems are as bad as they are. So let's look at some of the conclusions of the report. The UK is 30th of the 49 OECD countries for infant mortality. I find this shocking. There's actually been an increase in UK infant mortality. Between 2014 and 17, there's been a sustained and unprecedented rise in infant mortality in England, with this rise disproportionately affecting the poorest areas of the country. Again, let's just pause on these words. Sustained and unprecedented rise in infant mortality. Is that really something that we can continue to tolerate? This evidence suggests that during this 3-year period, there were 572 excess deaths that would not have been expected on the basis of historical trends. It also suggests that 172 of these deaths were due to rising child poverty. On child development, we can look at the percentage of 2 to 2.5-year-olds that achieve the expected level of development. 79% achieved the expected level in Q4 of year 21-22. This means that more than 1 in 5 2 to 2.5-year-olds were found to have fallen short of their expected level of development. 1 in 5 already falling behind by 2.5. Over a fifth of children, also at age 4 to 5, are overweight or obese. Children living in the most deprived areas are twice as likely to be obese than those in the least deprived areas. The Academy of Medical Sciences report only mentions obesity for reception year children. The same stats also suggest that for year 7 pupils, aged 10 to 11, more than a third, 37.8%, are overweight or obese. I have a bit of a reservation with these statistics labelling children as obese. It can become such a negative label. That said, the high level of obesity is shocking and therefore probably does justify collecting such statistics. On tooth decay, Public Health England produced a report on the oral health of 5-year-olds. In 2019, tooth decay, a preventable condition, affected nearly a quarter of all 5-year-olds in England. Government statistics actually show that tooth decay is the most common reason that children aged between 6 and 10 years old are admitted to hospital. This seems incredible, particularly as most of these cases were probably avoidable. Next, looking at air pollution and the link to child asthma. A study looking at Bradford found that air pollution is linked to 33% of childhood asthma cases. Evidence for London suggests that 7% of all childhood hospital admissions for asthma between 2017 and 19 were attributable to air pollution. We're literally poisoning our children and making them ill. I know that many people really object to charging mechanisms to reduce air pollution, and I do sympathise. It's a big change and it is inconvenient, but surely we can't just overlook this evidence on children's health. The Academy of Medical Sciences report certainly provides a comprehensive overview of why words like appalling are absolutely not an overreaction. The report also makes some really interesting points on the economics of child health. This actually isn't just about the moral case on why we shouldn't be tolerating this terrible situation. Data from the Royal Foundation and the London School of Economics reveals that the cost to society of addressing the issues that might have been avoided through action in early childhood has been estimated to be £16 billion per year. Further evidence from the United States shows that quality birth to 5 programs can provide a 13% return on investment for every single year of a person's life. So there's actually a strong economic case for taking urgent action on this issue. The problem is the short-termism of our politics. At the moment, no one's going to win an election on the argument that the economy will get massive benefits 20 years plus from improving child health today. But we do need some bold politicians who will take this on. The economic justification really strengthens the need for action. However, my view is that the moral argument is in itself sufficient to justify taking urgent action. I'm not expecting this report to make any dent in any of the major parties' policies in this election year, but this is a completely unacceptable state of affairs. I hope you found this information useful. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. I'd really be grateful for that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.